In this video I'm going to help you how you can fix your forehand power in just 10 minutes. And of course we cannot talk about power without talking about our legs. And also I want to talk how you do the movement with your racket and in which way it's easier to accelerate more, but for another side to don't lose the consistency. Because remember, if you want to play better tennis, you need to find a way, of course, to be more powerful, but at the same time to be consistent and at the same time to control balls to each side, or at least to the side you want. If you want to play more times to the backhand, you'll be able to play aggressively with power but consistent to his backhand. That is the secret. And of course, if you want to increase the power, the only thing, and the hack, or whatever you want to call it, the only way to accelerate more is really to drop the head of the racket and to relax in this part of the movement. So basically, if you are a beginner and you are watching this video, of course you can watch and you can get the information and it's easier because you understand the progress, but remember, first you need to be consistent, then that is to control at least 1,000 balls or whatever over the net, then you need to control balls to change directions, this is the second step. The third is to generate more topspin, you need to listen this sound, and only lastly is the speed. So you cannot go to the speed if the other things are not ready. And also, in my opinion, if you try to be more aggressive, to accelerate more forehands, but if you play flat with Eastern grip, you're gonna miss much more, and in the end it's not going to be worth it because you're going to miss so much that any smart player that goes to the baseline and plays like, I don't know, 2 or 3 meters behind the line and just plays higher balls, it will always win against you. And of course you can say that you don't care about the results, you are not that competitive, you just want to enjoy, but tennis is a game, and as a game you need to, I don't know, to learn how you can win in that game or how you can be more competitive, because I believe if you want to have more fun, you need to dominate better the footwork, the game, the forehand. You need to dominate all the skills to be able to compete better and to be a better player. So starting with your footwork, I already mentioned this many times, but your basic is to always adjust your footwork according to the ball. And the basics is, if you move in the diagonal and if the ball is lower, you always need to play. Just a quick short break here to say that I just launched my top spin and open stance forehand course. It's the second part of the previous course and it's perfect for beginners, or even if you play already for many years and you want to learn alone without coach, and you just need a racket and ball, no materials, and you can do this anytime and you can keep the videos forever, you can repeat it. So I hope you can get in, and I'm looking forward to see you inside and get your feedback with close stance. And this seems like boring or not about power, but this is actually what generates the power, because all the power is on the floor. You need to help with your legs to generate more power, and the power to reach your hand, your wrist, your racket, to reach here, the power starts here. So you need to bend, you need to bring the energy, then the energy comes all the way until here. So if you don't have the right footwork, if you don't stop in the right position, you will not be able to accelerate. And that's why I create my courses, the 1 and 2, but it's not to mention here now. So when the ball is lower and you need to move in the diagonal, you always need to go in close stance. If the ball is there in shorter and higher, you always need to go in semi-open stance, semi-open stance, and then you jump to the ball. If you run to the side, usually when you run to the side, you play with open stance. But remember, if you are a beginner and you are learning, always when you run to the side, even understanding that you need to open, when you are a beginner, always close your stance and play against the ball, because remember, the priority as a beginner is to run, stop, play and finish, and also to be sideways. And if you start to run to the side and play with open stance, you're going to start to play like that, and you're going to miss much more, you're going to be more frustrated, so it's not worth it. Just start with the basics, as I mentioned in my course or in previous videos. So when you move to the side, open stance for more advanced players. It's so hot that my phone went down and stopped working for at least 5 minutes. So I changed sides because I put on the shadow here, and I hope now it's fine. So I was saying, when you move in the diagonal but the ball is outside of the court, if you go with open stance and you hit, or you do the normal open stance here, you are too much outside of the court. So you need to see if it's actually the right footwork, if you have a good ball to accelerate a little bit more, or if you are able to open again the angle, because it's the ideal. But if it's a bit shorter, my recommendation is to go not here, but a little bit more, and then when you play, you jump against the ball. You are already on the court, so you stop if you can, and you jump on the direction of the ball instead of going like with open stance more to the side, and you have all the court open. So on that ball, ideally you play down the line and you go to the net to close with a short and cross court volley. That is the ideal. About the relaxation, depend if you are a beginner, intermediate or advanced player. If you are a beginner, of course the racket is a little bit lighter and it's not so easy to do this lag here and this drop of the racket, so you will have a bit more of challenge and you need to be actually yourself to go with the racket down and to accelerate. If you are more intermediate and more advanced players, the head of the racket is already heavier. So when the racket is heavier, it's gonna not naturally fall, and if you are really relaxed on your preparation, the racket is gonna fall. 85% of you are still not subscribed, so first I wanna say thank you for being here, and second, if you like this video and if you wanna watch more content like that, subscribe, be part of this community. We are trying to reach 100,000 subscribers and the silver play button. So thank you for watching, and now let's go back to our video. Thank you. And when the racket is almost in the limit, you accelerate, keeping your head still, because if you keep your head still, the ball is always in. If you do this, you're gonna lose the control and most probably gonna miss the ball. So it's really important, if you want to accelerate, to keep your head still, to don't move a lot, and also when you hit, to keep your eyes on the ball, or at least to keep the head still, because we say to keep the eyes on the ball, but not every time I see exactly the ball hitting. It's like a myth, and of course I try to advise to keep your eyes on the ball, but I confess that sometimes I don't even look, but my head is still, and this is the most important thing, is to keep your head still, to don't lose the balance. This is the most important thing, especially when you accelerate, but in any ball it's really important to keep the balance, because remember, the balance is one of the biomechanical principles to play tennis. So in my opinion, if you really want to accelerate more and do more power, if you have your head still, if you accelerate only when the racket is here, and if you have the right footwork, this is the perfect combination to accelerate more. Then the other thing that is really important for you to have in order to accelerate more is to be really able physically to last for longer, because what's the point on accelerating like for 5, 10, 15 minutes and then the rest of the practice you are tired? Here you have a few options or solutions for this. You either practice at your best, and when you are really tired, you find a way to work out after, to run slow, or find a way to just finish the practice, to just keep your form, or you run and do much more fitness apart from tennis, and you don't go full on tennis, but you work much more to try to last more and more and more on the tennis court at your highest level. My recommendation, if you are a good player, or if you want to be a good player, is to go to the practice and to do your best. And you do your best all the time. When you are tired, you need to understand, okay, I'm tired, but I don't have muscle cramps. So if you don't have, you can last more, and you can find the strategy to just finish the practice at your best, understanding that you're going to miss more because you are more tired, you're going to think less, you're not going to be fresh mentally. So that is the challenge for you. But I would say and suggest to you to go through that process, to accept mistakes, to learn from mistakes, to know how you can manage your tiredness, while, I don't know if that's the word, while you are practicing. That is really important, because when you play matches, if you want to go semifinals and finals, if you have too much matches in a row, that is going to happen, and you need to know how to overcome that. And the only way to overcome that is, of course, to play more tournaments, but you can also work on that on your practice. Apart from that, you can work more your fitness, but I do believe you need always to work on your fitness, because there is no chance of playing more aggressive, accelerating more forehands, if you really are not physically prepared to that. And then you need also to be mentally strong, as I always mention, and to be mentally strong, you really need to go to the court and do your best every single day, no matter what, in the days you don't want, in the days you want, in the days you are tired, in the days you have too much work and you really don't want to play because your head is not okay, you are thinking some problems. That days are the days that you need to go to the court, to do your best, to forget your problems, and always try to solve the problems at the moment. And usually the days that we don't want, are the days that we actually work more, the days you can hit even faster. And talking about that also, hitting faster, and about that days, another strategy, but this is more for high competition, I don't believe this is for adult, or this is especially for you if you are watching this video, is like to have a coach or to have someone on that side always asking for more and more and more, and trying to, I don't know, annoying you in the way that you can hit harder and harder and harder, and you get so upset with that person, with that coach or with that friend, that you always want more and more and more, just to try to, I don't know, to hit him, and that way you are working on your speed. speed. Then of course you have also drills to work on your acceleration, on your power. And some drills are like, I don't know, I can mention two or three, but at least, for example, when I feed balls fast, 1, 2, 3, I'm always feeding balls. So let's say you are here playing and I'm here feeding balls. If I keep feeding fast, so usually you feed one ball, you wait for you to hit the ball, then I feed another one. But if I feed the ball and I wait for you when you are hitting the ball, I already feed the ball and you have the other one almost immediately. So it forces you to accelerate, to finish, and then to go again. And then in the end, you are working on this motion, and it's really good to try now to accelerate more, because if you don't accelerate and if you are not quick, you cannot play that ball. Another thing really important to work on your power and to try to play more aggressive is to have actually balls feeding with hands, okay, and then to accelerate from zero, because when you feed with hands or when the coach feeds the ball with hands, you are using all the power because the ball has no speed. If the ball comes from the other side, the ball is already coming with speed, so you're not going to use the same speed to play the ball inside, because you are using the energy of the ball to put a little bit more energy and you are a little bit more relaxed. Here on this ball with almost zero speed, you need to generate all the power, all the spin, everything. Another thing is always to use the semi-western grip. I have many videos about that. I have many videos about how to change from eastern grip to semi-western grip. I have my forehand course, the part 1 is exactly about that, because if you watch my part 1, you will be able to change the grip and I fix all your mistakes. It's a step by step. You don't need to skip processes. You just go from lesson 1 until 10 and you have your forehand. You don't need to worry more about that. And then you have the forehand course 2, where you work top spin alone, no coach, and open stance and the mindset, because I really believe this is really important. But again, coming back, the top spin is really important to use, and for that I really recommend semi-western grip. If you are new here, you don't know that my grip is smaller, so I don't have space between fingers, but usually if you are a beginner, I recommend one finger here. I don't have, because I prefer like that to accelerate more and I feel much more comfortable. So this to say that when you start, you need to go to what is recommendable, like one finger, you need to do the basics, but then when you progress in tennis, you can have your own, I don't know, you can adapt a bit. You can see what racket you like the best. If you want to add weights, if you want the grip a little bit bigger or smaller. This, it's you. You need to understand what is better for you. About the movement, try to simplify as much as possible. If the ball is coming too fast, it's easier to accelerate even more, but sometimes you need to understand, okay, the ball is already too fast, what's the point on even giving more? You can take advantage of the energy, you can open the angles, because remember, you are trying to play more aggressive, to play with more power, but sometimes it's really important to play also smart. So instead of trying to be so much aggressive, it's also important to play as deep as possible, close to the line, not so close, because if you try here and if you go to the line, some people say out and then it's a problem, so you start to discuss. So always with a little bit of margin, try to play deep, also try to play angles, work on open angles and change directions, because it's gonna help you be more aggressive without taking so much risks. And this is about the feeling. You need to work a lot on your feeling, so even to work on that, I like to work on drive, so without the ball bouncing, and you do this exercise, and then when the ball is lower with bounce and you play, and then one without bounce. These exercises are going to help you to develop this feeling, this drop of the racket and accelerate. A lot of you say it's too much, but I don't know what is too much, because I know if you try and if your racket is here, you will never miss a ball. And then when you play with semi-western grip, every ball is already with topspin, just some balls are a little bit more flat, but with topspin, because you play and you go more like with the racket straight here and the ball is more flat. If you want more topspin, you go more like that and the ball is going a little bit higher, which I recommend for you 2 or 3 meters over the net, because higher is the ball, deeper is the ball. And also I forgot just one thing, because one of you asked me about directions, how I can change directions and what can I do to change easily, because he said, I think when I change directions I miss more. And of course, if you change directions, you will miss more. But one of the recommendations that I say to you is, if you are more beginner or intermediate, one way to avoid mistakes is just the ball is cross, you play cross. The ball is down the line, you play down the line. You play always with the direction that the ball is coming. And if you want to take more risks, you need to accept that every time you change the direction, so if you play cross court and you want to play down the line, you have more chances of missing. But for another side, 70% of the times you play down the line, that was statistics maybe 5 or more years ago, should be more or less the same, but 70% of the times you play down the line, the first one to play down the line, you will win the point. So if you want to take the risk, you need to accept, okay, I can miss more, but for another side, I will win more points if the ball is in. So you need to manage yourself, and remember, if you want to play down the line, of course, you always need to play the ball in front of you and on your side with distance between you, the racket, and the ball. But if you want to play cross court, you need to go even a little bit more to close the head of the racket and to go through, follow through with the ball, and to really change the direction. So down the line here, cross court a little bit more, it's easier to change the directions, and this is all you need to play. Don't think so much, and again, if you want to become better on that, just repeat. Just go to the practice, do 100 balls down the line, 100 balls cross court, and then 2 balls cross court, 2 balls cross court, 2 balls on the line, 2 balls cross court, 2 balls on the line. Work this with your fitness, so do as many balls as possible, and understand that if you play cross court, you need to recover here. If you play down the line, you need to recover to this part of the court. Again, this is already a lot of things. I hope you enjoy. Any questions you have, as you see, I always try to help you. I'm here to help a million tennis players to increase their level. About the courses and my ebook, they are going to increase the price on this Sunday. I came to the Maldives, Niama Island, because I thought it would be good to my brand. Actually, this month was my best month ever. Subscribers, viewers, more sales than ever, so it's my best month, but my last 4 days were my worst 4 days ever, so I got a little bit disappointed. Yesterday I was reflecting for myself why I'm so disappointed, why views drop, why sales drop, why everything, and then I realized, okay, I need to think the positive things about this. I need to think that, okay, this was my best month ever. Even if I had 4 days that were really bad, I still did sales, but not as good as much as in the previous days. I thought, okay, this is a lesson for me, because sometimes what we think is better for our brand ends up being a challenge, and I like to accept challenge. So I'll try to do my best, because I'll be here until September, first days of September. So I need to organize myself, see how can I take advantage of being here, how can I help you the best, focusing only on helping you, understanding that, okay, now I'm here, maybe I might drop more views, or maybe I try to upload more videos and you didn't like, or let me know also what was the difference here. I don't know, now I have my clothes back, I can record finally with my brand that I used to have. I'm not accepting a lot of sponsors, because I like Nike, Nike, I like shoes, Asics, I like my racket Babola, I also like few rackets, but this is my favorite. So I'm not accepting sponsors that I don't like, and I also will not mention brands for you or rackets that I really don't like. Everything I mention here, my courses, my book, the products I will mention are products that I truly believe. So I really recommend you join, for example, the course or the ebook. And the ebook, I still have my images from the beginning of my journey here. That was 17 months ago. Today we are like 91,000 followers and subscribers across platforms, but in my book I have the photos when I started my journey. So I think this is really beautiful. I still didn't upgrade, because I like to read the book and see the photos when I started, and I want to remember that forever, because as in tennis, as in life, as now this challenge, we always need to, we always need to celebrate small wins, but always look back and be proud of our journey and celebrate every single win, understanding that we're gonna have downs and ups, but we need to keep going, we need to believe on us. And in tennis, it's really important to keep working hard, and for sure with these videos you will increase your level. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.